Hello, and welcome to the first episode of African Battle Royale. This is going to be the last series I do in the Battle Royale format, so I hope you're going to enjoy it. I'm also simultaneously doing an Asian Battle Royale series, which you can go watch if you want to. But with that, I'm going to link in the description some videos that explain the rules of the series, and let's get right into it. Djibouti will be invading south. So, a pretty feisty first move. Djibouti will be invading into Ethiopia. I'm still going to be doing coalitions from time to time, but this time Djibouti is on their own. They thought with all their foreign military presence, they could get one over on Ethiopia. And if you don't know, in this Battle Royale series, relations reset. So they don't have any prior relations. And also, powers outside of the continent, in this case Africa, can't intervene. So Djibouti thought that outside powers would intervene. And this is when they finally realized that they can't. And Djibouti is an unfortunate victim of that. Ethiopia will annex them, which also gives them a port, which is nice. Seychelles will be invading west. So we've got the Seychelles in red over here, and Tanzania, the country they're going to be invading, in blue over here. Which country do you think is going to win? The Seychelles tries moving troops here and lands on this island, successfully taking it, and then Tanzania takes it back and destroys the Seychelles. Benin will be invading northeast. And because I don't want to have 3 overconfident invaders in a row, they're going to be invading into Niger, not Nigeria. And they're going to have Nigeria on their side. And this is pretty simple. Benin starts invading into Niger over a border conflict, and Nigeria sides with Benin because they want to gain some land from Niger. And because of this, the Nigerian army is not going to be able to stand for a while, as the Niger River is just used as a way to invade into the country. Eventually, some other countries will join on the war, like Chad and Algeria and Mali, because they just all want to take some land from Niger. And so, unfortunately, Niger will not be able to make it out of this predicament. They will plead with all of the countries in Africa, because the African Union actually is still able to exist in this timeline, given that it's not really a source for diplomacy as much as it is just like a UN, but for only Africa. I shouldn't say it's not a source for diplomacy. It's just like, it's not an alliance. And all of these countries have been quite cordial to each other in the peace negotiations. Mauritius will be uniting southwest. So Mauritius and Madagascar are going to be uniting. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But yeah. Sierra Leone will be invading west. So although it's not directly west, I feel like Guinea is the best choice for Sierra Leone to invade. So that is who they're invading as they move troops into Guinea. And this is going to very quickly become the type of war that just spirals out of hand, as Sierra Leone gets Liberia to join in on their side and start invading into Guinea, because Guinea is otherwise significantly stronger than Sierra Leone, as showcased with this invasion. And then Guinea will therefore get Guinea-Bissau to join in on their side, which helps combat Liberia. And then, kind of unprompted, but kind of prompted, Cote d'Ivoire will join against Guinea and start making some gains. And then Ghana will join on the side of Guinea, and they'll start invading into Cote d'Ivoire. And Cote d'Ivoire will have to withdraw from Guinea, although Liberia is still invading. Then Senegal will join against Guinea-Bissau specifically, and they'll be out of the war within a few weeks, which will allow for Sierra Leone to start pushing back against Guinea. Cote d'Ivoire is finally holding against Ghana, which is why Ghana then gets Togo in on the war. To counter this, Gambia joins Senegal, as Senegal starts invading into Guinea, because they might as well. And Guinea is forced all the way out of Sierra Leone. However, Cote d'Ivoire is now crumbling in the west. And Liberia and Sierra Leone see what's happening, and they formally kick Cote d'Ivoire out of their alliance, or their bloc or coalition, Um, so that this way Ghana won't continue invading West, or at least that's what they hope once they finish with Cote d'Ivoire. And in reality, nothing ends up happening because Cote d'Ivoire surrenders. But troops keep moving through there from Ghana and Togo to help out Guinea. As all of a sudden, Mali will join on the side of Guinea and just start destroying the previous invaders, convincing Guinea-Bissau to get back in on the war as they start getting liberated and they unoccupy some of their occupied territory. And just to keep things getting even crazier, Burkina Faso and Mauritania now join in against Mali. And this is really bad for Mali because a large portion of their country can pretty easily be cut off. So they decide to withdraw from Senegal and even allow Senegalese troops to chase them a bit into their country to prevent this from happening and stabilize the front lines over here while invading into Burkina Faso this way. Mali then gets Benin to join in on the war on the side of a lot of the rest of West Africa. And this war is just getting out of hand at this point. Cote d'Ivoire is then bribed to join back in on the war and surprise Ghana by taking a lot of their territory back. As Guinea-Bissau is retaken because of Mali not being able to interfere, and Guinea loses their coastline. But Burkina Faso is losing pretty badly and decides to surrender, and is forced to allow troops to move through them to get to Cote d'Ivoire, who fights nobly but also will surrender. And having just pushed troops out of their country once again, Liberia will also leave the coalition. Mauritania has managed to push troops out or from Mali out of their territory, and Sierra Leone is still invading Guinea. But now troops from Ghana, Togo, and Benin are helping Guinea out, and they're going to start invading into Sierra Leone, forcing them to surrender as well. And the Western Bloc of the Red Alliance, seeing where things are going, also leave the war. So let's see how the peace treaty is divided up. And this is how the world is divided up after that war. Zambia will be making an alliance with Mali. This will be the Lime Green Alliance, and the only real motivation behind it is that they have pretty good relations with each other and they want to formalize that. Equatorial Guinea will invade Northwest. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure if this is exactly where Equatorial Guinea and Sao Tome and Principe are, but we're just going to say this is where they are because this is how that war ends. Last event of this video. Namibia will invade Northeast. Namibia is going to try and stop the alliance between Zambia and Mali before it grows too large. And so they're going to use this little corridor to start invading into Zambia. Unfortunately for them, Zambia and Botswana had pretty good relations, and they managed to cut off Namibia's panhandle here. So Namibia gets Zimbabwe to join in on the war, and they start invading into Botswana, but start losing to Zambia, especially after Mozambique gets involved in the war. And now Zambia is Zimbabwe is getting crippled. They decide to surrender, which leaves Namibia on their own. And being a desert, they're not going to fare very well, and they know that, so they also surrender. After which Botswana and Mozambique leave the coalition, because it was just a coalition. As you can see, Botswana definitely got the better end of the deal, and Zimbabwe got the worse end, but what are you going to do? So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.